friends. This is Kelly Calabrese, and today I'm here with Dr. Louise Batt in Colorado with High Country Veterinary Services. Dr. Louise, thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for inviting me.
Excellent. Well, tell us a little bit about you and your practice in Colorado.
Yeah, so I have an equine practice based out of Steamboat Springs, Colorado. It's currently a 2-person practice. And most of our horses are either working cow horses. We've got some reined cow horse clients and barrel racers, and then a lot of backyard horses who do a lot of ranch work. So we're a primary practice. We do have a focus on both lameness and then also wound regenerative therapies and wound care. So we do a lot of dentistry, but for Renovo, that doesn't really that doesn't really mean anything. But anyway, so yeah, we've been using Renovo for several months now. I heard about it from a colleague of mine, Front Range Performance, and they had used it quite a bit and recommended using it. I have used PRP and iRAP. We have that in the practice. But I find Renovo very useful because it is so mobile. I don't have to do a lot of the processing that I did with iRAP and PRP, and I've been really impressed with the results. I would say most of the stuff we use it for are joint injections and then wound care as well. And we've injected it around a lot of wound beds, and then also for prepping wound beds for skin grafts. And I've been really, really impressed with it for that, as well as the joints.
Wow,
So, yeah.
Well, that's excellent. Can you tell us maybe a few specific examples that you were really impressed by the results you saw?
Yeah, so I had one working cow horse recently, actually, that she has fairly significant osteoarthritis in her stifles, as well as her hocks. And I was like, I don't know, but we'll give it a go. The owner was up for trying it, and I thought she was a grade, probably grade 2 to 3 in both limbs on her stifle flexions, and x-rays and ultrasound confirmed mainly arthritis. Anyway, we injected her 2 weeks later. She was down to about a 1. And then when I just rechecked her about on her 6th week, she was sound as a pound. So we did hocks and stifles on her. And I was really, really impressed with the results. So that was one I was happy with.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And the wounds, so I imagine these are new wounds that you're working with?
Yeah. So actually I haven't done it on a right there fresh wound, but it's mainly a wound that has been granulating in for either 3 to 7 days, depending on the wound. And it's usually larger wounds that are going to be healing by second intention rather than wounds that I've been able to stitch up. So I'm trying to get those wound beds a lot better for epitheliarization and get their granulation going. So yeah, one of them, I was like, the first one I did, and I consulted with Ginger and took the wrap off. We changed after 24 hours and then after 3 days. And I think that was actually the best wound bed I ever saw after the 3-day change. So, and then after that, it really stimulated the healing. And I had a particularly happy owner and scar-free wound. So I think that's obviously got to be the subject of more studies, but I've been impressed with it, and the application of it was really easy.
Wow, that's fantastic. We love to hear that. How about something about a performance horse? What have you seen in that realm?
Yeah, trying to think which performance horses we've done. So we actually we have some 2-year-olds in the practice that obviously we try and steer away from doing some steroids. So we've used those, particularly ones that have had some concussion on their coffin joints. I've had one in particular I'm just thinking of that he did really well. I mean, he had some concussion, had some infusion on his coffin joint, and was definitely a bit sore after a competition. So we injected and used that, and I prefer to use a regenerative rather than a steroid, especially in those young horses.
Okay, yeah, can you tell us a little bit about why you're choosing the regenerative versus the steroid?
Yeah, so particularly in the horses that we think we're going to have to repeat them over time. Obviously, then I would prefer to use the regenerative that is actually going to stimulate that synovium and stimulate the actual horse's own response rather than the steroid, and potentially causing damage to the cartilage with the steroid.
That makes so much sense. Dr. Louise, what would you say to other veterinarians who maybe have not yet heard of or tried Renovo for some of the things that you've used it on?
Yeah, I would say apart from obviously its medical application, which is great, one of the big pluses I found was that it's very convenient. It's easy to store and order it, take to your clients. You can take it with you and just do it right there and then, rather than having to draw blood and process with the PRP or the iRAP system. So I would just say, you know what, buy one and see. Try it yourself. If you're, if you've got some joints you can use it in, or wounds, soft tissue as well. We just don't have as much of that. So I just say try it. It's been great.
So you were introduced to Renovo just a few months ago, and you've already done over 20 cases, you'd say?
Yeah. So it's pretty much, I wouldn't say it's totally replaced the iRAP, but it's definitely put it on a back seat. So yeah. And it's definitely replaced a lot of the steroid use that we did have.
Well, we love to hear that. Dr. Louise, tell us where your accent is from, because it's so fun to listen to you. Where are you from?
Yeah, if you can understand any of it. I'm from England originally. I did my vet school. I grew up in England, did my vet school over there, and then came over to CSU for an internship. And that was 2007. So, and then I've been in America since.
Well, we are so thankful that you're here. Thanks for all the work that you're doing in Colorado. We look forward to checking back with you to see how your customers are doing and patients with Renovo. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.